hi, I'm Rhianna, and I'm
Nice
here
to meet you,
with
Rhianna.
Fraser Smith from future Utopia, and we're here at Manchester's very own Yes. And you're
Well, not quite.
not quite. We are
Where are
in.
we?
We are in your van,
Yes.
which in many other circumstances would be a really weird way to start off.
We
an
are in the
interview.
tour bus, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Which is keeping it real because it was just a little bit loud, wasn't it?
It was so loud, but then that just shows you what a vibrant venue that you're about to play in
That's
is.
the thing. Can't wait, but they weren't going to be turning the music down, were they? For
No,
us?
absolutely not. But I think that's very Manchester, isn't it?
So, yeah, we love it. Let's let them do the thing, but yeah, here we are.
What made you choose this venue in the first place?
We looked at the venues in Manchester and we just thought the Pink Room just has such a great reputation.
Definitely.
And you know, we're a very colourful band. You know, we like those colours.
Absolutely.
So just we thought the
As
Future
you are
Utopia
right
colours,
now, very
Future
brightly
Utopia
dressed.
colours, in amongst the sort of that pink vibe is here, and the sound in there is amazing, and people are great. It's got real buzz to it. So can't wait to play that tonight.
Yeah, it's a very vibrant venue, and it's very intimate as well. And do you think that having a venue on a smaller size, do you feel like the audience can sort of better experience your music?
Well, I don't know about the experience, but I think that the feedback that you get back from people is just amazing. You know, I was saying that quite a long time ago. I played the Manchester Arena here, and really all you see is like people's phones. You know, just see these lights.
Yes.
You know, and that becomes. You can't really relate to people on that level. I find it hard to. You just see a sea of people, but here you can literally, you know, look into people's eyes, see the body language, see what they're reacting to in terms of the songs. And I think that's where all great bands like learn their craft and hone their set, because you can really see what's working, and then as you progress into bigger venues, then you can make sure that things are working. But yeah, all of us in the band have played big venues. We really like these kind of venues as well.
Yeah, it's just so much more intimate. I feel like not being able to see people, it's very impersonal.
100%.
And I feel like with your music, especially the themes you sort of touch on, they're very much on the human experience, I'd say.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a really important thing for you to be able to connect with the people you're playing for. Would you agree with that?
Very much. You know, it's what it's all about. And I mean, it's I never felt, when I first started making the music for Future Utopia, I always felt like, looking ahead to live, that we would be in amongst everyone, and that everyone coming to a show would feel like part of this like group community. And I think that when you literally put someone on a stage, someone is on a different level physically to you, and I think that becomes really hard. You know, where you're seeing people miles away and they're built up, and then you get into this sort of iconic status, which is what a lot of people want. And maybe if you want to go and see The Weeknd or Beyonce, it is that sort of iconic status that you want to see, like a statue or some sort of amazing thing. But the Future Utopia is very much about being connected to the fan base, and actually feeling that the feeling that the audience is participating in a funny sort of way.
Yeah, like you were saying, I feel like a lot of artists nowadays, it is very easy to feel disconnected from them. And I do really appreciate that. That's a really nice thing to hear from an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is your first time in one of your tracks, I think it was this time, using your own vocals.
Yeah.
When I first listened to that, I was like, you really sound like Tame Impala to me.
A lot of people say that, you know, which is cool, because I you know, really, I love Kevin Parker's voice, and I wasn't, when I was writing the songs, I wasn't really trying to emulate any part of Tame Impala, but I think that, you know, I can hear the similarities, but I think that where we differ is that we use slightly different grooves, and I think that the rhythm section is very different, so the bass and the drums differs, and songwriting, I think, lyrically, we're very different. So it's nice that, you know, there's similarity, but also like the differences.
Absolutely, I totally hear that, because it's like, whilst the vocals were like quite like, because you're both very serene kind of vocals, the backing, like very powerful chords you've got going on as well. And like, what would you say about the theme of that song in particular? Like, what does it mean to you?
To me, this time is about relationships, but in the context of being in. When I wrote this, I was thinking a lot about Las Vegas and being on the gambling tables, and how with the metaphor really of knowing when you're gambling, like when to stop and when to leave. You know, places like Las Vegas are very addictive, and you see people there and they're, you know, they've got these chips and they'll win something. And I think in terms of relationships, that's almost like, to me, meeting someone new, and you're kind of, you know, a new friend that feels like, you know, because you've not spent time together, it sort of feels exciting. But for me, where I'm at in my career and in my life is that relationships, you come back to the relationships that are the key relationships, you know, my marriage, a relationship with our daughter, and they're the solid things in my life, you know, and it's the symbolism of just knowing, like, that it's not about, like, quick fixes, you know, with new people. It does actually make Sarah and I like hermits, because we enjoy our company so much that we kind of, you know, when we're not working, we stay in a lot because we just have so much fun. You know, I've found my soulmate with Sarah, my wife, that you've met already, and that, yeah, it's some of the other themes, you know, like my latest single, Something Real, it's about that as well. It's about the relationships and a lot of moments on the record, you know.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very, like, personal sort of record, I think. Like, having listened to it, very, very, like, intimate feeling. And I feel like even if you're not someone who's personally experienced those things, you can almost relate to on a level.
That's great. I'm really pleased about that because, yeah, this time being the first track with Future Utopia where I've sung but also, like, come up with all of the lyrics, that means a lot, that you can relate. Because that's the thing, I don't want to sort of overwrite so that it feels so personal to me that it's unrelatable, that to keep it open enough that people can relate. And if you did,
so you're saying it's part
that's
of
great.
Future Utopia to sort of, like, connect with your audience as it is.
100%.
You know, did you find that challenging? Because obviously it was the first time you've ever, like, fully used your own vocals and everything, and obviously your previous background as a record producer. Was it, like, quite a switch up, or was it a very similar process?
Yeah, I sort of felt like it was a little process that started in lockdown. Actually, I had a track called Never Gonna Get It, which was like a garagey sort of track that I made with DJ Seinfeld.
Oh, brilliant.
And I wrote the lyrics and that and the melody.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was like a step in the direction of where I was going in terms of, like, coming up with the lyrics and doing the whole thing. And then, yeah, I tried not to overthink it. I definitely overthought, like, the recording process, because that's sort of what I do when I'm producing, and the vocal levels and the sound and all of that kind of stuff. But actually, with the writing, I just really got into it and felt very freeing, because I think when you're working with someone else, you know, as a record producer and a songwriter, you're really looking to what the artist wants to do. So you're having to think, like, how can I write lyrics that suit them?
Yes.
But I know the kind of lyrics that suit me, you know, and they're within me from all my influences. So when it comes to writing for myself, I'm like, not to say it's not challenging, but I'm not having to sort of ask anyone else.
Yeah, it's more coming from yourself.
It's really come from, you know, a good place. So yeah.
It must be quite a free and creative process, honestly, because I imagine in the past it must have been quite restrained in the way that you're so trying to imagine what everyone else is. You're going to have to put aside what you think would be best if you were that person.
100%. And I love also doing that. You know, sometimes I think if there's a clear delineation between writing for yourself and writing for other people, you know, if you're writing for other people, then I'm very much the sort of person that will be like, I am here for you completely. I'm not trying to get my ideas or get a sort of little solo record going through your record. You know, I'm here. I'm a blank canvas that will just challenge you, but also help you. I'm your guide, basically. You know, whereas when it comes to me, it's I just sort of hunker down and get into it, which is cool.
This must have been your first experience, obviously, performing with a band as well.
Yeah.
Is the feeling on stage very surreal?
Yeah, I mean, it's surreal, but also you're very comfortable. I mean, the guys I've got on stage, you know, the band are amazing.
Yes.
And, you know, it's not a huge band. It's like 3 other players. We've got bass, drums, and backing vocals, and I'm doing keys and guitar and singing, and yeah, it just feels stage feels a very natural place. I guess I've done a lot of gigs over my life that, you know, a lot of producers maybe will start playing live, but they've never played live before. I mean, my thing is that as much as I've produced lots of artists, I've started as a musician. So these kind of gigs I've done like literally a million.
So like your own previous background as a musician is almost helping like you feel like you know what you're doing, because
Really
you do
is.
at this point, because you've been in the industry for a long time now.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Yeah.
So all that experience built up to really help me put this band together, and just feel like we're giving a lot on the shows. You know, it's a headline tour, so we're playing for like 75 minutes, which is great. People
So
seem to be
exciting.
enjoying it. And, yeah, you're going to see the show later.
I'm so excited. I'm really excited to see it this time, because that was actually the first track I listened to of you.
Oh, amazing.
So I've had it on repeat, it's been on my playlist.
Love it, love
really,
it.
really exciting.
Yeah, well.
In terms of the tracks in your EP, which do you think was the most challenging to write?
Well, I'd say this time, from the point of view, I don't think it was particularly challenging, but I think because it was me. With We Were, We Still Are and Kay heard the hook that I had on that track, and they interpreted that as something, and then came with these amazing verses, and then Kay wrote the lyrics for the melody that I had, which is really cool, because I was not too sure like what was going to go in that space. So Kay came with the lyrics, and then I sang it, and so that I was just stepping back and seeing how amazing Kay is. Big Pig, we wrote that together.
Oh, brilliant.
So that was like over a dance tune, and we then slowed it down later on, and then the Make It Home with Tommy was a track that I wrote in LA like about 8 years ago, and I had it. It was just a song that was just going round, and I wrote it with this great artist who's on the record called Tommy, and she didn't use it on her record. And then I asked her if it would be okay if I could use it and put my own vocals on it as well as using hers, and yeah, she was down with that, and so that like felt relatively easy. So I guess this time, just from venturing into the unknown.
Definitely, obviously testing yourself in a way that you've not really done that before.
100%.
But I think it's been successful. I think it's a really, really nicely produced song, as you are a record producer, but also your vocals do fit in with the backing of the song. I do think it really meshes well together.
Thank you.
So it's very nice,
that.
very nice song. Probably my favourite one on the track.
That's
together.
amazing.
So I'm very excited to hear that.
Yeah, no, we'll play that tonight.
So what was it like collaborating with all these incredible artists? So obviously you're talking about Kay and like Big Pig. Do they all bring different things to the process then?
They really do. And I love collaborating. As much as now from this time with the new single, Something Real, and then into the album, it's going to be all the band and me, which I think is really cool. But yeah, it's the sort of last collaborators for a while, working with Kay Tempest and Big Pig and Tommy. Just they're amazing, amazing
incredible
artists.
upcoming artists.
Yeah.
And I feel like you do work with artists who are not necessarily being spotlighted, but you still manage to bring them out, and it's just incredible.
Yeah, I love working with artists that, I think especially with Big Pig and Tommy, you know, I think Kay, you could say, is probably a little bit more experienced.
Yes.
Because they've had, I want to say like 3 albums out, but maybe wrong. But Kay, I think, is a creative, you know, having written books. Kay has an amazing book on connection, and I recommend to anyone watching this.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really incredible. Kay was actually on the 12 Questions podcast, and that was an amazing episode where we were running through the 12 questions and Kay gave their answers that were just mind-blowing, and then got the opportunity of collaborating. And
yeah, honestly, I've listened to some of the songs, and Kay like really comes in very like knowing what they're doing, and so it blended so nicely with like obviously your like, you know, background and everything, and it's just like incredible hearing it. It's very enjoyable to listen
Thank
to.
you.
Very powerful as well, I think.
Yeah, I think there's something about Kay's lyrics that always resonate, you know.
They speak
and
with
actually,
intent.
yeah, and I think Also on this record, people love hearing Kay as a rapper as well, because Kay is known as really as a spoken word artist.
Yes.
Kay was really excited because they heard the beat, and Kay was like, you know, this reminds me of when I was younger and I used to just rap in the raves, you know, and it's got that feeling, and I think
Very raw.
very raw. I think to be flowing like that over the track is something that Kay hasn't done for a while, so it's really cool.
It must have been very like much of a release as well.
100%.
Definitely, that's so cool. Wow. What is in the future for Future Utopia then? Don't mind the pun.
No. Well, the album is going to come out next summer. We will be releasing singles from January and through to June, July, at which point the record will come out. And then we'll be doing more and more shows in this country and overseas, and more and more music coming out, basically. So
just basically everything more.
Yeah, just keep it going, because we're enjoying it. It's going well. People are really giving us great feedback. So like, why stop something when it's moving, you know? So.
Yeah, we're very early in the tour, so obviously you're finishing off at Hackney, which is very exciting. What does that mean for you to be able to finish off there?
It means a lot, because I mean, Sarah and I, neither of us grew up in London, but we also feel that London is our home, because we spent most of our adult life there. So to come back, and we've got so many friends there. Kay, as I've said, is performing in Big Pig, so to have like those special moments, but also for that to be the last gig of the tour, it's going to be big.
Very special, very special. One to watch out for, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, it's been really lovely talking to you.
It's been lovely talking to you.
Thank you so much for taking the time before your gig.
And enjoy the gig tonight.
Thank you.